All right, it is 7 o'clock. It is time for 11 minutes to health. So thank you everyone for jumping on to tonight's health talk. Tonight we're talking about diets. We're talking about what's the fuss with gluten and the importance of diet on a path towards true health and wellness. My name is Dr. Greg Benkin. I am the owner and lead practitioner of Northwood Chiropractic and Wellness in Maple Grove. So the fuss is this, and we got to start before we really get into it. It's what is gluten? So gluten itself is a tenacious elastic protein. Now I want you to remember that because it really gives the cohesiveness to dough. So when you look at a loaf of bread and just how well we're able to create all these nice baked goods, it's how do we form this structure? Well, it's gluten. It in itself is tenacious. It's there to bind and keep everything together. But it's also a protein. We need to remember that. So I want you to think of this. When you hear of gluten, think of a gum, a binder, a paste. Also think of glue, because in Latin, gluten means glue. And as I mentioned, a protein. Yes, a protein. And I don't want you to take you all the way back to 10th grade science class and trying to remember what it is. But yes, a protein, meaning it carries a message. Not the muscle builder, not the tank of powder that you're building so that way you can look good during the summer, but something that actually carries a message in your body. So gluten is a protein. And so how does it function on the body? Again, don't get distracted by this awesome, pretty picture here from 10th grade, but here's the mechanism of injury. So again, gluten carries a protein, it carries a message. So our best research has said over these last 10 years, it's found out that it doesn't matter if you have an autoimmune condition. So I want you to take celiac disease and pull it out of your brain, because an individual who eats gluten who has a celiac disease, it is an emergency. This is what we've noticed with every individual, because again, the gluten is a protein and it's carrying a message, and this is how it is affecting your body. So what happens when gluten attaches to the small intestines, the inside of your gut, it actually forces those cells to open up, the space between your cells to open up and be accessible to the bloodstream. So what happens then is nutrients and particles and food particles that aren't supposed to be absorbed through there start entering into your bloodstream. Within your bloodstream are our immune cells. They're there to identify invaders. They're there to identify foreign objects that shouldn't be there, so they go and attack it. So when your body is doing this and your immune system recognizes, hey, this piece of food shouldn't be here, this nutrient shouldn't be here, it then starts to attack what's in the bloodstream. And also these immune cells go out to the small intestine and start attacking out there as well. Over a series of time, we start to notice that this actually stresses the cells themselves. And this cellular stress will actually start to change the genetics of the cells in the inside of your stomach. Over time, as we start to have this repeated exposure of gluten and this repeated cellular stress, the cells that you started with aren't the same cells that you ended with, and your body is continually attacking itself. That is called an autoimmune condition. So we're seeing a number of individuals, especially if they're entering their late 40s, maybe mid 50s, they're being diagnosed with an autoimmune condition because their gut health they never took care of, and one of those things is gluten attacking their body. So some signs and symptoms I want you to look out for if you are eating gluten and you are having these type of issues is brain fog, feeling tired, bloating, and leaky gut. You should be able to know that right away. So that in itself is you're trying to be productive through your day's work. You have lunch, but then you get that 2:30 feeling. You feel like you need to take a nap. That in itself is your own body being affected and injured by gluten. And the other one as well is leaky gut. There's no worse feeling in the world than bloating and leaky gut. And that's a fancy way of saying you're passing gas and it smells awful. I'm sure when you're looking at relationships and time at home, that's something that can be funny, but for some people, they find it disgusting. And part of that is because you're being injured by gluten. Now, there are a few things on there that we mentioned, headaches and depression. That in itself makes me as a chiropractor a cause of concern. I'm so focused on your brain's health, I need to find out where your headaches are coming from. So we knew over 10 years ago that gluten causes neurological damage. And it was only 6 months ago did research come and say that actually gluten stimulates an abnormal release of serotonin in the gut. So what is serotonin? We've all said it. So we can't deny it. It's, sorry, I was in a bad mood. I needed to go get something to eat. 95% of your body's serotonin is in your gut. So every time you go to eat, you're stimulating the release of serotonin, so that way you're in a better mood. But gluten, remember, is that protein. It's carrying a message, and it's telling your body to release way more serotonin than your body needs. Your body does not like high highs of hormones, and it does not like low lows. So it created this neuroendocrine imbalance. It created this change in this pathway. Your body is continually just sending out serotonin that all of a sudden starts to change your mood. And that's where you start to falter and enter into a depression. A lot of individuals right now, if they're being taken care of through pharmaceutical drugs, they're given what's called an SSRI. That's a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It's not changing your gut. It's not changing your brain. What it's doing is just changing and augmenting, so that way you just feel better in the moment while you're taking it. But we know with this research that just came out 6 months ago, we know that gluten is changing how your body is functioning. It's changing the damage to your intestines, and it's changing how your body is releasing that feel-good mood serotonin. So I always want to make sure with any individual that comes in, where are their headaches coming from, where are their migraines coming from, and why is it that we're having increased rates of depression as we start to get older, especially males in their 30s. That is a huge cause of concern. So where can you find this? Gluten, it's common knowledge that's in wheat, but it's also in barley, rye, and oats. So those are your beers. You got to be careful of that. You'll also find your imitation meats, like a mock duck or tofu. But surprisingly, remember, it is a binder. It's there to give shape and form. It's being used in your soy sauce, your ice cream. Can you believe that? And also in everyday condiments like ketchup. So it is out there. It is used in way more products than what we originally have thought. So how can you lead a healthier life today? I encourage you to remove gluten immediately if you can. We know through the best research and evidence that it is damaging your intestines, it's damaging your gut, it's leading to short-term and long-term health changes. And with that, it's changing how your body's hormone of serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is being released in your body as well. So as Midwesterners, for most of us, it's that time of the year, we're itching, we're scratching, we're trying to look for warmth and sun, we're trying to get out and about. So I encourage individuals during this time, remove gluten and remove it completely for good. But I want you to also consider a probiotic. A probiotic there is to help heal the area, as well as a multivitamin. Right now, you're probably not eating well. You need to supplement some stuff. Let's get the good nutrients in your body. And as I mentioned, I encourage everyone in the Midwest, especially, fish oil is fantastic, as well as a vitamin D3, and to make sure that you get your spine checked. Because as a chiropractor, I want to make sure that we're having great posture, that you're moving, that your body and brain is functioning well, that we have great strength through all years of our lives. And part of that is the importance of a diet. You can't go into true health and wellness if your diet is holding you back, if you're incurring symptoms, if you're having those issues that are just ongoing and they're seasonal and they're always adding that more stress. So as a chiropractor, I'm looking at an individual, I'm looking at their whole health, and I'm always leading up front with the cause and prevention of disease. Because if we can use our diet as a form of medicine to help our own body heal, what better way to do it than just to remove the thing that's damaging us and introducing stuff that can assist in our healing. Now, for every individual, I let them know with this, hey, how do you become a new patient? Let's start with this. Let's start with the consultation. There's a number of things that I go through because I want to find out, if you're having symptoms, why is that? If you're not having symptoms and you're leading that just step of, hey, I do want to lead a healthier life, let's still go through these steps. Let's find out your spine's health status and how we can create a healthier you. So please give my office a call or share this with any other individual who you believe should be able to enjoy this gift of health. So what's all the fuss? We went through it. There's a cause of injury with gluten. It's absolutely everywhere. It's in food items that we never thought we would ever see. So it's something that it's causing that injury. It's changing our hormones in our body, and we have to identify, remove it, and start the healing process for ourselves. So Thank you so much for jumping on. I'm very excited to be able to announce that thank you so much to Dan's Health and Wellness Revolution. As I mentioned, let's remove the gluten, but let's get you on a probiotic, a multivitamin, as well as vitamin D and fish oil. And that is going to be this week's prize. So please look into the chat. You'll probably see that there is a link within there. And with that link, let me pull it up here. Make sure that you've registered. I have a screen grab of all of our participants. Thank you so much. Please jump into the link. Make sure that you have registered. Tomorrow, live on Facebook, we'll announce this week's winner. So please follow us on social media. We're conveniently located in Maple Grove, and we're happy to serve the area. And we have 5 seconds left. Thank you so much for attending tonight's 11 Minutes to Health. Have a great night, everyone.